everyone. So today we are going to talk about everything you need to start card making. So basic tools, just things you in general will need if you're going to start card making. Plus a little tips and tricks to decide what would work best for you. Alright, so to begin, we need cardstock. Cardstock is the main thing for card making. So we need a white cardstock if you are going to be stamping or if you just want white. Because this is for beginners, get any kind of cardstock you can. Just to familiarize yourself with using these products. Don't go out and buy the most expensive stuff, because that's going to make you not want to start. That's going to intimidate you, and we want you to just go right into it, and you can gradually increase your purchase price on however, or kind of like at your level of where you want to step up your crafting game. Alright, so white cardstock. You need color cardstock if you want to have, more color in your card making. For your bases, for your mats, just in general embellishments. Alright, next tool. You will need a trimmer. Now, if you don't want to go out and buy a trimmer, then you can just use a ruler like this and an X-acto knife. Maybe you have those on hand already, so then you don't have to go out and buy a trimmer. I do recommend eventually getting a trimmer, because if you're going to be crafting more, if you're going to be doing a lot of card making, then the trimmer is awesome. Especially if you are not the best at measuring or the best at cutting straight, which I am not. I am horrible at that, so I went ahead and got myself a trimmer. You can get a cheap one to begin with, just to get yourself, interested, get yourself going into this whole crafting and card making thing. Alright, the next tool, scoreboard. You do not need a scoreboard per se. You need some type of scoring thing. So, if you are going to do a lot of crafting or a lot of card making, buy the scoreboard. It is a very useful tool, especially if you're going to be making your own envelopes. I know this is all kind of overwhelming at first, but this is a great way to get yourself going. If you do not want to purchase the scoreboard just yet, you don't have to. If you're not sure you want to get into card making that much, then you could just use your ruler. You could get your trimmer and just push it up against the side of the thing here. Just push it up and then just press with your fingers. You could buy just the bone folder, or just use a ruler and then press it down, so that way it gets creased really well. Or your trimmer probably will come, well, you will be able to purchase a scoring blade. So it's just like this blade, but it does scoring instead. And most trimmers should have that ability. Maybe not the cheap ones that you're going to start out buying, but eventually they should have that tool. Now, if you want to skip that altogether, you can buy just pre-made card bases and envelopes. They're Walmart, Hobby Lobby, anywhere has them, and then that way you can just go straight into the card making. Alright, so those are the first few tools. Let me put them out of the way here. And these are just going to be the basic tools that, just warming yourself up to these. Alright, so now we're going to talk about adhesive, because we're going to want to apply that cardstock, apply, you know, embellishments to the cardstock. So we have a few different choices of adhesives. If you're just starting out, you don't want to buy too much, you don't want to spend too much, just go with the normal Elmer's glue. It'll work, you know, if you're just putting paper to paper, and it's cheap. Now that's going to be great if you have issues with speed, if you want to be able to reposition your piece of paper that you just put down. Maybe it didn't sit right and you want to just twerk it. That would work perfect. There's also another Elmer's that is just like that, but a little bit stronger. Now you have to be careful with the wet glue. Do not put a ton of it on, or else you're going to get that whole, like, it's kind of like a wet feeling or a wet look to the paper. So be careful with how much you put on. Another adhesive is a art glitter or any kind of tacky, like Aleene's tacky glue. This is going to be good for sequins, glitter, ribbon, anything that would not be, it would be kind of hard to just put on with Elmer's. That needs a little bit extra oomph. And then we have our tape gun. There are smaller ones you can find that are about this size that work perfect. You don't need to go out and buy the big thing. Just, you know, get yourself introduced with the products, you know, see if you like it, see if you don't. You don't have to spend a whole bunch to get yourself started. This is going to be great for if you want to be a fast card maker. You want to do a lot, like for your Christmas cards. You want to just keep spilling out cards. So this would be good for that. It also can hold ribbon, tulle, it holds well. So those are the adhesives that you would need. You then are going to want to start thinking, do you want to do stamping? I know this is a lot to take in, but if you've watched any of my videos, you kind of have a oh my gosh. You are familiar with some of these products because you've seen me use them. And you probably have an interest into crafting and card making already if you are watching this video. So there are wood-mounted stamps. There are digital stamps. There is rubber stamps. There are clear photopolymer stamps. Alright, so a clear photopolymer is going to need a acrylic block. Or I've found that just the ink pad lid will work just fine. Anything that your stamp will stick to so that you can put it in your ink and stamp it. So just a clear acrylic block. That will be for the clear photopolymer and then also the red rubber stamp. You're going to need that block or something like it. Clear photopolymer is going to be good if you want to do multiple stamping, or if you are not quite sure if you've got a good impression. You can kind of line it up again and see. The red rubber is good because it doesn't take up as much space as the wood mounted. Wood mounted is good if you do not want to buy the acrylic. These are also good for paints, watercolor, you know, different media, because it's a little bit more sturdy. Digital, you will need a printer. Generally a 110-pound cardstock would be best, but it's kind of up to you. If you want to start with just printer paper, then you can get yourself into it, you know. You can normally find digi-stamps for free if you just type in free digi-stamps or free digital stamps, or just use coloring pages. That's a good way to get yourself introduced into the digital world. I have a bunch of free ones on my Facebook page that you can just print off and color and get yourself introduced in that. This does not take up much space at all. It's just on your computer. So that's a good space saver. And then inks. So you're going to want, you know, a black ink for your stamping so that you can color it. You're also going to probably want some colored inks. So if you're doing like, you know, pumpkins or leaves, you can make them orange or, you know, get yourself introduced with the inks. Pigment inks are not going to dry as fast. They're going to be kind of chalky in a way. Permanent, that's going to be great for like watercoloring or alcohol inks, or like the solvent inks like StazOn, that's going to be good for that. You're not going to get into that just yet. Well, the watercoloring you will, if you are interested in that. But this is more of the basic, so you're not going to get into the alcohol markers or anything just yet. This is more wetting your toes in the pool of card making. Alright, so for coloring the stamps, you are going to either pick colored pencils, markers, crayons, or watercolors. Just use your basic Crayola up until a point where you feel like you are ready to dive into the next thing. I will say that each one is very different, so you know, kind of try each of them, and that way you can kind of get a feel of what medium you like. And then, I mean, they're not that expensive if you're trying out just the cheap versions. So, you know, colored pencils might be way too hard for you to use. Markers may be a little bit too messy, or not the kind of look you're going for. Maybe watercolors are too wishy-washy. So it's kind of a playing thing. You need to find what medium you like. Just buy the cheap ones, and then you can, you know, play with it and see what you like before you buy the expensive. Alright, the last thing you need for card making would be, well, for the basic, you know, would be pattern paper or designer paper. So just any fancy paper that you would like. They come in 6x6 pads, 8.5 by 11, and 12 by 12s. So it's so that you can do your stamping, you could do your mats, any kind of flowers or embellishments you can make out of your pattern paper and put it on your card base. So hopefully I covered pretty much everything. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. I know these craft room chats are not very long, so I kind of squeeze a lot of info into just one itty bitty video. I will be doing some more back to the basics, or, you know, just basic card making videos, more basic crafting in general, and also some more tools coming up here soon. And I think that I might even do like a step-by-step actually getting into the card making process and stuff like that. If you are interested in that, make sure to leave a comment or give this video a thumbs up, so that way I know that you guys are interested in learning, you know, how I started out, or how, like, what tools I started out, or what I recommend that people start out with. But yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a crazy day, not too crazy, good crazy, not bad crazy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!